Hello everyone, I hope life is treating you kindly. I'm Lubomira and welcome to all my crafty friends new and returning. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today is day 12 of the holiday card series. If you've missed any of the previous videos, I'll link them in the description below so you don't miss out on any of the crafty goodness. Every year I look forward to this series. I love the holiday season, but this year it's been extra special thanks to you. Every moment of joy in this series has been amplified by all of your kind words and the amazing responses I've received from you. I couldn't ask for a better audience, and you've made this series the best one yet. I hope I can continue sharing some more projects with you, and we can bring a little bit more positivity to our world. The last part of the series I'm sharing has a traditional sentiment with another non-traditional color palette. There is no easier way of conveying a greeting than actually spelling it out. Through the use of word dyes or alphabet dyes, you can capture a sentiment by simply stating it. Merry Christmas, deck the halls, peace, whatever you wish to express can be written out in pretty combination of colors. I'm excited to share this card with you, so let's get into the video. I used the Paper Rose Merry Christmas die. This is a rather large Merry Christmas with both a block print and a script font combination. It's really pretty. It also has a shadow die for each of the words. Now, as I mentioned, you don't necessarily have to use a word die for this type of card if you don't have one. If you have alphabet dies, you can easily write out the word letter by letter as well. Another way of getting a similar look is by stamping out letters using alphabet stamps and changing the colors for each letter. I went ahead and die cut all my paper first. I cut 3 layers of Mary from white cardstock to add dimension to my card, the Christmas from gold glitter cardstock, and each letter of Mary from a different pattern or colored paper. When I had all my die cuts, I glued all the white layers together using liquid glue.
True love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 turtle doves and a...
Next, I worked on the individual letters of the word Mary. You may have noticed that the word is actually connected at the bottom of the die. To give each letter its own color, I first had to die cut each letter out of its own color and then connect it to the next pattern. I die cut the letters from each scrap so that there was a portion of the letter next to it. To get a seamless connection between the letters, I cut them apart 2 at a time. I took the M from my first cardstock and then the E from the next one and layered the 2 as if I was going to glue them together so that they met up perfectly. But instead of gluing them, I cut the letters apart. This way, the M would cut at the same angle as the next die cut beneath it, creating that perfect seam where the M and the E would meet. I repeated this process for the ER, the RR, and the RY. Each time I cut a letter apart, I glued it to its corresponding place on the white Mary die cut.
On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 6 keys of lane, 5 golden rings, 4 golden birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 7th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 7 swans are swimming, 6 geese are laying, 5 golden rings.
When I had my Mary done, I moved on to the Christmas die. Off camera, I die cut 2 layers of the word Christmas from white cardstock and then layered them together using liquid glue. Once those layers were connected, I added the glitter layer on top.
Ladies waiting, 8 maids are milking, 7 swans are swimming, 6 geese are laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 10th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 10 lords are leaping, 9 ladies waiting, 8 maids are milking, 7 swans are swimming, 6 geese are laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
For the background, I used a Spellbinder's 3D embossing folder called Holly and Foliage to emboss a standard card panel. This panel is actually an off-white color called Whipped Cream. I embossed the panel off camera and then I trimmed it by 1/2 inch from top and bottom. Now that I have all my parts of the card, I can start to put it together. I took a coordinating standard, pink card panel and attached it to a white card base using liquid glue. Next, I lined my embossed panel with a glitter cardstock matte layer. You may notice that my matte layer has a missing part in the middle. Well, I was being frugal with this cardstock because I didn't have that much of it. One of our lovely friends commented on a previous video that you could save on pretty cardstock by cutting the middle out of a panel when you were going to layer it, since no one was going to see it. This is such great advice. I don't always show this practice, but that's because I'm sometimes pressed for time. It's a fantastic suggestion though, which works great, and no one will know that it's not a complete panel. I attached the glitter mat to the back of my embossed panel, first with glue, and then added foam tape to pop up the layer on my card front. Once the card base was assembled, I added the word Merry to the front. I used a T-square to make sure it was straight and glued it into place. I shortened the word Christmas to fit the card front by snipping the ends of the die cut and then gluing it on top of the word Merry. Hi Gizmo. Bye Gizmo. I wanted to add a small banner beneath my greeting, so I decided to use some pre-printed sentiments. I really like the Paper Rose Crisp Christmas sentiments for this. They have a nice assortment of different sayings that I appreciate. I chose wishing you joy this season. I cut the sentiment from the sheet using my rotary trimmer. My preferred way of trimming these types of sentiments is either with a gliding blade trimmer or a rotary trimmer. It's much easier to determine the cut compared to a guillotine trimmer. My rotary trimmer is rather large, and that's the drawback of it, so I don't use it too often on camera. Next, I lined the banner with a layer of white cardstock to make it more sturdy. I trimmed the overhang of the liner around the banner, and then using a black marker, I darkened the edge around the banner to make it look more tidy. With the help of my T-square, I added the banner beneath my greeting using foam squares. Lastly, I added some gold pearls to the front of my card for more shine and interest. And that's it for this card. This card came together very quickly. While I created an elegant look, you could easily change the mood of the card by playing with brighter and more playful patterns. It's a pretty versatile design that can be adjusted to any season with the right greeting, and you could mass produce it if you wished. Overall, I am very pleased with the way this card turned out. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me today for the final day of the holiday card series. I hope you enjoyed all the cards I've showcased during this presentation. Now, just because the series is over, that doesn't mean we won't be having more Christmas fun as December unfolds. We still have a little over 3 weeks before the holidays, so there will definitely be more inspiration on the way. I will be resuming a regular weekly schedule, but keep an eye out for some additional content too. There has been a really positive response to the series, so I hope to put something similar together for you in the near future. Maybe for Valentine's Day or maybe the spring. Thank you again for all your lovely comments and participation. I hope you'll join me next time for another creation. Until then, have a wonderful week, my friends, and I hope life treats you kindly. Take care. Bye.